What I've got for you today is a professional match of StarCraft 2. It's time for a Zerg versus Protoss on King's Cove LE. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of the map and playing with the red Zerg drones. She's from Canada and she goes by the name of Scarlett. Her opponent in the opposite corner playing with the blue Protoss probes. From Germany, we're looking inside of the main base of ShoWTimE. Now, of course, both of these players are channel favorites. I'm personally a massive fan of them as well. Scarlett, especially a couple of years ago, managed to differentiate herself amongst the top-of-the-line Zerg players with ridiculous creep spread. Nowadays, though, it's very difficult to go ahead and do so just because pretty much all of the top-level Zerg players have insane creep spread, of course. Over the last year or so, I've been seeing her play a lot more timing attacks and I've been seeing her play a little bit more aggressively. The thing is, it's a Zerg versus Protoss, you're going up against ShoWTimE, and we're on King's Cove. So, King's Cove is the largest map in the current map pool. Rush distance right here from natural to natural are very, very, very long. And that just simply means that it takes longer for units to make their way across the map. Now, ShoWTimE, in my opinion, is probably the best defensive Protoss player in the world. He's extremely difficult to beat. In Germany, they call him the Mauer, which means the wall. And yeah, that nickname is certainly true. I mean, apparently playing against him, I've never played against him because obviously his MMR is a little bit higher than mine, but apparently playing against him feels like you're playing against a wall just because he doesn't really budge and he doesn't really roll over with any kind of timing attacks. He's seen pretty much all of them 1,000 times before. And yeah, I'm curious to see where this game is going to take us because I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a little bit more macro focused. Now, this is a game that was played recently, a couple of days ago, at WCS Summer, one of the premier events that we have in StarCraft 2, which is the reason why we're seeing a North American going up right here against a European. Doesn't happen all too often. I always get really excited whenever those kind of games happen. Regardless, though, I watched a lot of the matches live, especially in the final day. However, I didn't really get to see a whole lot of the games leading up to the top 8. So if there was an awesome series or maybe an awesome match that you watched live, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section of the video because I would like to cast a couple of those games over the next couple of weeks. Now, final little bit of trivia before we jump into the different strategies. It's a Stargate opener, by the way. ShoWTimE actually tweeted that he managed to dislocate his shoulder about a week and a half or so ago. So I think leading up to these games, he must have been in some pretty ridiculous pain. He tweeted afterwards as well that he wasn't able to get full shoulder mobility and that he wasn't able to basically twist his arm and move it around like he normally would be able to. It's his left arm as well, so his keyboard hand. Pretty rough. I don't know if he was in extreme pain while playing this or maybe he felt comfortable. There's no denying, though, that WCS Summer was one of his best events in recent memory, so I guess all things considered, he was doing quite alright. Anyways, so it's gonna be that Stargate opener. Now, it's gonna be an Oracle first? Yeah, it will be. So a lot of the top-of-the-line Protoss players lately have been going Stargate again. For a while, we saw Stargate into Dark Templar drop or into High Templar drops with Archons. We saw also for a while just simply the straight-up Dark Templar into Archons, which was very popular over the last couple of months. And now all of a sudden, once again, straight-up Stargate openers with triple Oracle have become very, very popular. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to be seeing a Phoenix as a follow-up here and then 2 additional Oracles as well. He doesn't necessarily have to go ahead and do so. There we go. Phoenix does go down. The thing is, this Phoenix can shoo away any kind of overlords, and it's going to make it difficult for Scarlett to figure out exactly what's going on and to figure out how many queens she needs to prepare in order to deal with any of this early game aggression from the Protoss. First Adept made its way across the map, scouted pretty much everything it needed to. It saw the third base going up, and that's a really important bit of information. Here's that Oracle, though, completely unscouted. And that means it's going to be able to deal a little bit of damage. 2 drones already going down. 2 more queens waddling towards the main base here. But ShoWTimE getting a whole lot of value here. Picks up 5 drones with ease. And then obviously he's going to be able to get away there as well. And probably come back later for a little bit more aggression. So indeed, that Overlord was killed. The Phoenix managed to clear that target. And now another Oracle comes up. Is he going to go for a third one? There we go. So it's going to be a triple Oracle Phoenix opener. This is the new flavor of the month. So basically that Phoenix is here to lift up any queens and to also take a couple of shots. These Phoenixes actually have 180 life in total, which is quite significant. It means they can take quite a few hits there from Spore Crawlers and Queens in general. And since they are going to be the ones that tanking or are tanking right here for the party, the Oracles can then go to town there in the mineral line as well. Now, in the meantime, on the other side of the map, by the way, it looks like we see that third base already going up. A very early third here for ShoWTimE. So definitely banking on these oracles to push this Zerg player back, to make sure that Scarlett is going to be occupied, and to make sure that she's not going to be getting all too aggressive with, for example, Zerglings or roaches. Yep, so confirmation right here as well for Scarlett. Very important to figure that out. She actually now goes for 6 Overlords. 6 Overlords? I mean, yeah, I get that she lost one of them right there. I guess 2 in total, but no, it's actually only 1 in total. It's not even that crazy. That must mean she's planning to get a little bit aggressive, right? She has been droning up extremely hard. Evolution Chamber goes down right now together with a Hydralisk Den. 14 additional drones go down. Okay, so I guess she just hit a supply because she's like, you know what? I'm just going to make Overlords for the rest of the next 5 minutes. Here we go, though. So this is what I was talking about, right? So the Phoenix lifts up whatever it can, and then the Oracles will pick up whatever they can as well. This really only is, for the most part, just a little bit of shield energy, I suppose, and that's 4 drones. In total now we see 9 workers going down, and ShoWTimE manages to keep those oracles alive as well. Very important to do so. Later on, they can be utilized again as well to maybe go for some revelations. Say if it's lurker play, that's very helpful, but also just to keep track of the army movement from the Zerg. The Phoenix apparently decided to get a little bit risky, fly through the center of the bases, but it managed to stay out. And, well, this is what you can also do if you have 3 oracles. Ay, ay, ay. Very painful, and ShoWTimE certainly is the one who's in charge right here in the early game. So, 3rd base is done. The gases will be taken as well, but he's actually decided right now to go for what seems to be a bit of a move out. Now, there's no prism, so reinforcements here are going to be far and few between. A Zergling right there on the high ground did see exactly what's going on, so Scarlett is aware of this move out. I'm actually a little bit worried here. If you decide to go without a prism... Okay, is this just... Oh my god, ShoWTimE with the 200 IQ build. I think this is literally just him planning on it getting scouted. Forcing out units here from the Zerg player, preventing Scarlett from making drones for that 4th, and then just walking back home. So that's like a way of dealing damage, I suppose, forcing units out of the Zerg when they could have been making drones without really taking any risk. I was gonna say, if you gotta go without a prism, and really there weren't even that many gateways right now. I mean, we finally see that gateway explosion, but up to this point, there weren't really that many gateways. That push wouldn't have done anything. Very cool style. Very cool play there by ShoWTimE. Showing us why he's such a scary opponent to go up against. Obviously, it's a bit of a gamble, right? Because you don't really know exactly where the Zerg player is located. But here we go, once again. Oracles go back in. One of them did sacrifice his life there. And, well, once again, 4 drones. That's 14 workers in total. Very significant. Alrighty. So, it's gonna indeed be that lurker den. Is this scouted right now? Actually, let me have a quick look. No, it's not scouted just yet. Well, I guess ShoWTimE right now knows. Since the Hydralisk walked right by it, as long as he clicked on the lurker den. I guess this could technically also be an infestation pit, but this feels like a weird spot for an infestation pit, so wouldn't be surprised if he assumes right now that it is gonna be lurkers. So if there's one group of units, right, that's really good at dealing with lurkers, it's gonna be Archon, Immortal, Zealot, and then these High Templar. Also, you can use these oracles for revelations, which will spot the lurkers while they are burrowed underground. Oh my god, man. Top value, so annoying. I love these oracle openers right now, it's so sick. Such a pain to play against. So if you're a Protoss player and you're listening to this, please don't play these builds when you go up against me. I don't like playing against it whatsoever, but it is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the strongest builds that you can go for right now at this level of play. Alright, so a prism is available right now. This is what we would like to call the anti-F2 warpin location, where you can't use the all-army hotkey and accidentally pull that prism back. I don't know, actually, if ShoWTimE uses the F2 hotkey. I would be very surprised. Nice little bit of force fielding there, though. Gets a couple of Zerglings as well. They were actually a little bit too far forward. At the same time, though, oh, I love this. Scarlett is morphing in a couple of those lurkers. She's got 2 overlords waiting, so that's 4 lurkers in, well, I guess it's gonna be spotted, though, but in 2 of these overlords. I think they're planning... Oh my god, it's 4 Hydras here as well. I think they're planning on dropping down in the natural and then pushing forward here near the 4th base location of ShoWTimE. I have not seen lurker drops in a very long time, and it's actually a very scary build. This was common when the lurkers first came into StarCraft 2. Then we'd only really see it as like a doom drop, but I really like this. So right now, right, ShoWTimE is going to be scrambling to move towards the natural. The lurkers are burrowing in the natural as well, and the Zerg is looking to move forward right now over at that 4th base location. Still though, the Mauer, of course, is ready to hold any kind of aggression here relatively easily. That one photon cannon actually provides providing the vision that's needed as well. Observer now joining the fray, and I think that the Mauer is actually holding on reasonably well. The Lurker, though, in the natural, or the Lurkers rather, in the natural, still dealing a little bit of damage. Lurker in the main base also trying to get something done. Once again, by the way, the Zealots on the other side of the map are trying to slice and dice away over at the 4th base, or the 5th base rather, of the Zerg. Reinforcements, though, should be able to clean that one up. At the same time, once again, we see Scarlett testing the waters here near the front base of the Protoss. And an attack, actually, that was, I think, meant to deal a lot of damage. Right now, most of the... Yeah, I think for the most part, right now, it's cleaned up, right? Extremely well done there. This is one of those builds where if you're a lesser Protoss player, you would have just simply crumbled. You probably would have lost the 4th. You probably would have lost the mineral line worth over at the natural. And now we see ShoWTimE basically taking no damage whatsoever. I mean, yeah, he lost a couple of things here and there, but nothing too critical. And it seems like he's even going to be able to get the kill right here on that 5th base. I mean, it's impossible not to be a fan right here of ShoWTimE. I uploaded... Well, I mean, he needs to target fire down the hatchery, though. Oh my god, he's not gonna... Okay. I uploaded a game that Zest played recently as well. Zest, essentially the opposite playstyle here of what ShoWTimE is displaying. Zest extremely good at micro. Not to say that ShoWTimE obviously is weak at micro, but it's just a different approach to the game. I'll actually go ahead and post a link to that one in the little eye in the top right-hand corner of this video. Would highly recommend checking that one out because it's got some insane Protoss micro. But really, like, if you were to merge, right, like ShoWTimE and Zest, I feel like the amount of skill, it would be absolutely ridiculous. Once again, though, another one of these Lurkers is trying to load into an Overlord. I guess it managed to do so successfully, but one Zealot figured out exactly what's going on there as well. And you know what? ShoWTimE held on to a very unorthodox build with ease, right? He made that look easy. It's really easy, though, to lose all of your High Templar. I would have done that, probably. Just walk them into the Lurkers. You know, while they're, like, throwing the little water balloons, they would just die. The little attack animation of High Templar always makes me think they're throwing water balloons. Anyways, once again, Zerglings making their way towards the other side of the map. At the same time, ooh, the Zealots came here to clean the, I guess, the job of the previous Zealots. It's a little bit sad. They did get picked off there as well, sacrificing their life for the Protoss. There we go. Oh, that Oracle from earlier. Right, look at the value that this Protoss is getting out of his units. It's insane. Anyways, that Oracle from earlier, using Revelation, spotting all of those Lurkers as well. In the meantime, though, a couple of Lurkers as well, Zerglings and Hydras, made their way towards the other side. They will force the Council on the 5th, and that's actually really critical. ShoWTimE is not really looking to clean up this game here. Recalling part of his army, actually. A bit of a gamble. Okay, I was going to say, you do need to get some way of actually preventing this from dealing so much damage, but there we go. Lurkers jumped forward, and all of a sudden, I'm actually a little bit worried here for the position here for ShoWTimE, although I don't think I need to be all too worried. He managed to hold on here once again, making it look easy. Could have been a disaster. I mean, he needs to get rid of that one Lurker, though. Hello? Is there an Observer left? Yeah, there's 2 of them. Okay, they're actually both in the bottom left-hand corner. Not ideal. I'm sure they're going to be coming back, though. No energy right here for Revelation either, so that one Lurker is going to continue being a nuisance. In the meantime, Scarlett has stacked up towards a hive. So her follow-up plan right now is to go for these Greater Spire units. And there's one unit right here that's really good against dealing with Archon, Immortal, Zealot, and Storm. It is, of course, going to be the Brute Lord. The thing is, ShoWTimE is already anticipating this move, goes up towards Tempest. Did he figure out that it was going to be a hive? Of course he did. Very good scouting there. He doesn't know about the Greater Spire, but he doesn't really need to. The worst part that can happen really for a Protoss is to be caught with your pants down without any Tempest. In this case, though, I think he's going to be alright. Once again, the Lurkers trying to move forward. Obviously, the Tempests have been spotted as well, so I don't really know even if Scarlett wants to commit to this. Zealots once more trying to make their way towards the other side of the map. They will be able to finish up at the very least that one Pokeboy. Hydra's actually running for their life, but Lurkers should be more than enough to deal with all of this. And once again, ShoWTimE trying to secure the base right here. That is going to be his 5th. It's actually very important that he gets this base up and running, because he's starting to run a little bit low right now on money, right? I mean, yeah, he does have a good bank, and yeah, he is maxed out. But that's really what Scarlett is trying to bank on right now. She's trying to deny as much economy and then win in the long run, as she is mining a heck of a lot more than this Protoss player. Thing is, though, ShoWTimE right now is maxed out. And I feel like maxed out Protosses are the scariest ones, right? Maxed out Protosses, very, very terrifying to play against. It's a very heavy Lurker style, though. Actually, Tempests are not bad against Lurkers either, right? Here we go. Protoss is smelling blood in the water. He wants to move forward. trying to deal as much damage as possible, picking up as many of those lurkers as possible as well. That one observer at a very low amount of hit points, but it is going to be enough. At the same time, though, once again, Scarlett is on the other side of the map, trying to deal some damage, using those lurkers to that top tier potential. Base in the center right here ends up falling as well, so it's mostly just an eye for an eye. But I feel like this is more critical, actually, for ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE needs that money. He cannot replenish this army nearly as easily as Scarlett can, as she still has another mining base over here on the left. Whoa, nice recall, but an Archon finds its grave over here, as well as that sentry, and then another Archon. 9 drones in total, so that's 23 right now throughout this game. I think that's okay. Did you see the rapid-fire creeps right there? That was incredible. It's like, brrrt. Basically, what a lot of the Zerg players like to do is have an incredibly high repeat rate on their keyboard, meaning that they basically can hold down a key and then it's gonna just spam the button like no tomorrow. 18 additional lurkers. Whoa! I figured she'd go up to Brute Lords here, but no, she's actually going 18 additional lurkers. I wonder if that's because we already saw those Tempests. A couple of Tempests were picked off. It's now 5 in total, though, with 3 just finishing up here as well. Once again, the Swarm is looking to get something done here. 1 Oracle still remains. 3 Observers remain here as well. If she can pick up these Observers, actually, that would be a disaster. Honestly, like, there's this weird dynamic between Archon, Immortal Zealot, Storm, and then Lurkers. Yes, in small numbers, the Lurkers will get run over, but if you just simply make more Lurkers, I mean, if you go for, like, how many is that? 22 Lurkers right now, and you burrow them, there's no way a ground army is going to beat that. Right? And since the majority of this army is actually still caught up with ground units here for ShoWTimE, he's actually going for 2 additional robos. I actually don't mind this spot here for Scarlett whatsoever. 5th base, though, has been secured finally here for ShoWTimE. Once again, Zerg is trying to get something done. Ooh, looks like this may actually be an accidental sandwich. Scarlett probably not anticipating that army to come from several different angles, and she is forced to back up once again. Zealots moving on the left-hand side, trying to see if they can maybe go after this base over here. Scarlett trying to take a base here on the right, as well as the one in the center. That one just did finish up. I think that's going to probably be the next base as well for ShoWTimE to take, although he could also decide to go for the one right here on the right. Zealots, though, obviously get picked up with ease, as there was an Overlord scouting out exactly what path they were taking. Alright. So how many robos is that right now? 3 robos and 3 Stargates. It's a match made in heaven. A couple of Dark Templar are actually also being warped in. Very nicely done. Those Dark Templar, obviously, very scary to just simply use in a timing attack, or maybe as like a little bit of a hit squad to go after that base. I mean, yeah, Scarlett does have a couple of Spine Crawlers, but as far as I can tell, there's no detection. Tempest, getting a little bit risky here, right? Getting a little bit far forward. I wonder if it's time, though, for Scarlett to switch towards Spellcasters. I would love to see some Vipers here, or maybe some Infestors, and then eventually Brute Lords. I think the ultimate endgame unit composition is Archon, or rather is Infestor Brute Lord, right? So this army composition for ShoWTimE is continuously getting more and more sophisticated. Scarlett is trying to force ShoWTimE to be in a position where he can't fight all of these armies at once, but once again, the Mauer holds strong, manages to get his army in the right place at the right time, and he's actually in a pretty good spot. Now, here we go. The hit squad of Dark Templar and Zealots, ready to move forward. Of course, these Dark Templar are very good as well when it comes to dealing with those structures. Still, though, it looks like there's going to be a little bit too much here for Scarlett at home, so he decides to back up, but once again, they go back in. A couple of the Overseers actually will finish up, and this is actually a very expensive set of units to lose. You don't want to lose those. ShoWTimE, in the meantime, expanding towards the 6th base here, towards the right-hand side of where he just took his 5th. And Scarlett is actually starting to run a little bit low here on resources, right? She had a nice bank earlier. Not a lot of income anymore, not a lot of resources anymore. And not actually that sophisticated of an army composition either. ShoWTimE right now making whatever unit cost him the most gas right now, right? That's kind of what it looks like. He's going for the most gas-heavy units that he can pick up. Only really using Zealots right now as part of the counter-attack squad. Storms, though, very, very scary. I would love to see maybe even a Mothership added to this, right? A Mothership would be amazing. Here we go. Those Dark Templar and Zealots, though, once again came back for more. Lurkers trying to move forward. This is a very scary Zerg army when you get it in the right place at the right time. High Templar still alive. They need to stay alive here. The base probably going to be in a little bit of trouble, although ShoWTimE apparently prioritizing going after the economy here, going after those workers. 18 drones already fell. And even though we saw that Great Aspire here a while ago, I think as long as ShoWTimE manages to hold on, he's not going to have to worry about Brood Lords, right? Queens fall. 25 workers fell as well. And while Scarlett is occupied on the other side of the map, ShoWTimE is holding strong, right? Look at the amount of units he's producing here. Look at the amount of units he uses for defense. Dedicating just the perfect amount of units here for the counterattack. And indeed, GG will be called. ShoWTimE giving us a masterclass on how to play defensive Protoss. I think for the vast majority of Protoss players, right, it would have gone terribly wrong when those Lurker drops happened. So Scarlett didn't go for a Doom drop. She just simply committed 4 Lurkers and then 4 Hydralisks into 3 Dropper Lords, right? And that doesn't look that scary, but if you get them on top of a ramp or you get them in a mineral line, they will absolutely kill everything that gets close, right? ShoWTimE, though, recognizing the scenario, he did not walk all of his units towards the natural, which is very tempting as well, but he left a very solid amount of army over at the 4th base as well, recognizing that there might very well be a push coming there through the center as well, and he defends everything with ease, but I think that could have been a disaster in any weaker Protoss player's hands. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. A special shout out, of course, to the Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much for the generosity. I actually just posted my very first Patreon exclusive video on there as well. So if you're interested in watching even more content, I know I upload a lot. A couple of bonus videos are going to go live on there as well. So feel free to check it out. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile alright. And I will see you once again in the next one.